Hello, my name's Julie from Sewunique, and I will pop all the links down below where you can find me on social media. Well, a big welcome to everyone to episode 77. Well, it's a bit later on in, well, it's later on in the day for me for filming. It's actually 8 o'clock at night. I've had a busy day today at work. And then obviously Kevin and Adele have gone off to Birmingham to MegaCon now. Then I've been on the phone with my daughter-in-law for about an hour and a half chatting, and then I've had a few little jobs to do, and then I've been on the computer doing a little bit of ordering, and I'm thinking, time to get in on here, I better go and get my video done. So I've just made myself a nice cup of Yorkshire tea, my lovely little bunny cup, and I thought I'd come out and have a little chat to you and tell you what I've been up to this week. Well, as you will have seen from the beginning of the video, we went to the farm shop and we just hit torrential rain and flooding. I left the shop last Saturday. Lovely sunshine, beautiful afternoon, and you could see as we were leaving our little town how black the sky was, and we'd only gone a couple of miles of that, and it was black as could be, and the roads were flooded, just torrential rain. So yes, we went to the farm shop. This was more for Adele than me. I didn't really buy that much. I went to see the animals there, see what they were doing. And even though it had been raining, they were still outside. Yeah, and then we came home, and that's probably all we did that day. And I made Nutella ice cream on the Sunday, I think it was, and I used little pots this time because Kevin said, oh, I think those pots that we've been having, there's a bit too much in there, he says. And I think, well, nobody else complained. So I did buy some smaller pots, I think 4-ounce pots a few weeks ago. So I decided to put the ice cream in there. And yeah, everybody thought they were getting small rations. But I must say, the Nutella ice cream turned out lovely. It was really nice, and it was really, you could actually tell it was Nutella. Really nice. So everybody enjoyed that. I've made 2 lots of pancakes this week for everybody. We had pancakes at home with fruit, and then my son and daughter-in-law, I said, oh, come, we'll have pancakes next, on Wednesday with bacon and maple syrup. I said, yeah, okay. So we did that. So I have been a little bit busy in the kitchen. Didn't film the pancakes though. I didn't have time. I was too busy. But they were nice. So then I promised my grandson that he can have vanilla pancakes on Monday when he comes to stay after school. So I'm making pancakes again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some to put in the freezer as well. So I'm going to try and get in front with some pancakes so I could just pull them out the freezer. I don't know. So it has been a little bit busy this week, but I've still had time to do some crafting. And I've also had time to do a bit of shopping as well. As you can see, I've got my new glue gun. I don't reckon she hasn't got my glue gun, and she has, because she's got all my glue sticks. So I went onto Amazon last week, and this glue gun was on offer. So they were £3 something each. So I thought, right, I'm going to get 2 at that price. So I've hidden one away so she can't find it. And luckily I'd got some packs of glue sticks already in, because they were quite expensive. Because obviously you've got to pay postage on them. So I'm sorted now. So I've told her she's banned now from my glue guns, because she's got 2 of mine. And all my glue sticks as well. What else did I buy? Oh yes, I've excuse me a minute. I have bought some patterns. Right, well this is the first one I've bought. It's the King Charles Coronation Keepsake pattern by Helen Phillips. So it's a cross stitch pattern. So I'm sure everybody knows who cross stitches Helen Phillips. She has some beautiful little designs on her Etsy page. And so I'm looking forward to starting this. which I'm hoping that I might get started this weekend. As I've got a weekend to myself, I've got a little bit of peace and quiet so I can get some things done. And the other thing I've bought, this is off Etsy as well. Now this is a sublimation design, so I'm going to, well, I'll probably get Adele to do it for me, but she can sublimate me a mug and a coaster, and then I'll probably have a tote bag as well for the Coronation. And I just like this design, really nice. So you can have it with or without King Charles Royal Coronation on. So I think that'll look nice. So, you know, I'll have my little bit of stuff for the Coronation. I'm sure I'll make a couple of other things. I mean, I've already got a tea cosy that I made. I've got one or two other little bits and pieces that I've made that I can use. So yeah, but I just like this because it's got Tomties on, and I just like the fact that it's got sort of all the sort of iconic things from about London. So I will share obviously what I make with them when we get them done. And I'm hoping to maybe put this design on a few other things as well. And I've bought myself a PDF pattern. So I'm going to be doing a bit of dressmaking this year, which I didn't think I'd get back to doing dressmaking at all. I haven't done any proper dressmaking for a long time, to be honest. I think the last thing I made were a few t-shirts a few years ago. I mean, if you're sewing, you're into dressmaking, you'll know Tilly and the Buttons when she sort of was on the sewing bee, and then she brought out some books. And I bought a couple of her books, and the patterns in there were really nice, and the t-shirts were really good, and I enjoyed making them, but I haven't made any since. But I know I've been looking for, probably a year or two now, looking for a nice pattern for some nice tops and some nice trousers, especially for the summer. And I've never really come across what I want. I think I'm just being a bit fussy though. But I have got a couple of customers who come into the shop who buy PDF patterns online, and they're from Stylearc. It's an Australian company. I'll try and remember and put the website down below, because I think at the minute they've got a bit of a sale on. Now I bought a top and a pair of trousers and it cost me £13 altogether, but for the trousers I've got 34 A4 sheets of paper to stick together. That's going to be fun. I think I would definitely have to take that to work and put it on my cutting table, because that's probably the biggest table I have got. So I think I'll be having a trip down one Sunday or one Monday when the shop's all closed, and I can just sort of concentrate on doing that. So obviously when I get to do it, which will not be just yet, I will take you along with me. But what I will do is I'm going to put a couple of pictures in up here of the fabrics that I like. Now there's two batiks I like. The darker one, I'm trying to do this from memory now, because the darker one is what I want for the trousers and the lighter one is what I want for the top. So like I say, I will show you two pictures of what I quite like. And this is, I'm about to show you the pattern, shouldn't I? This is called Darby and Joan, and you can see the trousers are slightly cropped, and the top, it's quite loose. It looks to me like it's quite boxy, and look at those big pockets. So I'm looking forward to actually making these, because like I said, I haven't done any dressmaking for a long time, and I'm fed up of not being able to find any clothes that I actually like, because I find the trousers that I like for the summer especially, and yeah, okay, they're patterned, but then you can't find any nice tops to go with them, because the tops are all patterned, but it clashes with the trousers. So I thought, right, you know, I'm going to have to get back to dressmaking and start making my own stuff again. So this is going to be the first thing that I'm going to be making this year. And like I said, I'm going to be using batik fabrics, because I have got some beautiful batik fabrics in the shop. And this is what I'm going to make. So I'll take you along with me on that journey to see how I get on. to give me motivation to get it done now. Said I'm going to do it. And I have got another sewing pattern, which I think I'm going to keep that one for next week and talk about it then. That's quite an easy one to do, but it's not for me, for somebody else. So I'll tell you about that next week. Just have a quick sip of tea. Oh gosh, my tea's going cold already. Right, well, I will share with you now what I've actually been making this week. I've been quite busy actually. I've made some bunting, some Union Jack bunting. Now this is only the first strand, and I have put a little video out how I made it, especially for a customer. So I've just got the other one to make. So this is going to go up in my shop for, I don't know, probably go up in April sometime, sort of getting decorated up for the coronation, which I'm looking forward to doing. And I might see if I can make a few more bits to go in my shop window. And yeah, probably for my display tier tray in the kitchen as well. Maybe I can bring out quite a few things that I had for the Jubilee, because not everything's got Jubilee on. So yeah, so that was a fun make. Right, and my socks. I have been, excuse me a minute, everything sat on my chair. Right, well, I haven't got as far with my socks as I'd hoped. Every time I've been trying to sit down to knit it, I get interrupted. I take them to work and I think, oh, I'm sure I'll have a little bit of time when it's lunchtime. And sometimes lunchtime comes and goes and I've not had any lunch and it's time to come home. Well, this week I have managed to do the heel flap and heel turn, and I've just picked up the stitches on this one for the gusset. So hopefully I'm going to try and get the gusset done on both socks this week. And the other sock, oh, there you go, I've got the heel flap and turn and I haven't picked up the stitches. I was hoping to have had that done today, but I think this is going to be a little job for this evening after I've had some tea. But I'm enjoying this, loving the wool. I did make a mistake on the heel turn last night. I don't know what happened. I just totally went wrong, and yeah, I think probably because the telly was on and Kevin was talking to me, and it excuse me, it was on the dark part, and I dropped a stitch and it had gone right down into the heel flap, and it was just in that one spot I couldn't actually pick it up and put, lift the stitch back up. I just couldn't do it for some reason. So I thought, right, just rip it back and I'll just start knitting again, which I did do. I got it done, and yeah, I put it away. Took it to work today, got the stitches picked up on this one and had to leave it there in between customers. So I did get a little bit done today, but I'm going to try my best to actually do a little bit more this weekend. I think I'm going to probably have quite a bit of crafting time this weekend. I think the housework can wait. Do that next week when I've got some help. Oh dear. Right, well, next is, I'm keeping it in this little bag at the minute, and this is the bunny cross stitch. Now if you've followed me, you'll know which one it is that I'm doing. I'll just show you the picture. You'd think I'd have this already, wouldn't you? Oh dear. Right, so that is what I'm doing. This is off Etsy, and there's the details on there. She's on Instagram. So yes, that's what I'm doing, but it's not for this year. It's just I'm just making a start on it, so because I like it. And then I'm going to, as long as I've got it done for next year, I'm happy at that. And I haven't got very far. I'm just on the first bunny's head, but it's got several sort of shades of blue in, and I mean I can see them now when I look at it, but under my light that I work with it now, it's very bright. I can't tell the shades apart at all, so unless it's my eyes, I don't know. But yeah, I want to do a little bit more of that this week as well, so I'm enjoying that. I just need to cut my Ada down because it's still oversized and I've not had a chance to measure it and cut it down, so I really must do that. Right, well, this bunny cross stitch is not stopping in this bag. I've got a new bag that I'm going to be putting it in, so I'll just share that with you in just a second. Now, if you've seen me talking about the Easter spring treat box that I was selling, I've actually used all my fabric up now. I've only got that piece left and this piece left, and that is it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make with this at the minute. I mean, I could make a little pouch, I suppose, we'll say, but like I said, that's all I've got. I've used everything else up. There's just really tiny scraps. I've even used some of the tiny scraps up as well, which I will show that to you now. Now, as I've got a Christmas, as I've got a tree, I decorate it up. I've made a ball. So this has got lots of little pieces stuck on, and I have glittered it with an iridescent glitter, and I absolutely love this. And I've got Easter ribbon on, and that's going to go on my tree. So I think maybe next week I will show you what's on my tree, because I have changed a couple of things on there. But I love making these baubles. They are so nice, and I especially like putting the glitter on. It sort of tones the fabric down a little bit, which I like. So yeah, I just need to keep that safe now. Right, well, this is the bag that I've made. It's more of a bucket, and I've used all the scraps. The scraps sort of decided the bucket size really, and yeah, so the scrap pieces were roughly about 12 inches long and sort of different widths. So I did sort of quilt as you go, sugar bag the bottom. The inside piece, this is a piece I had at home. This wasn't from the kit or anything. I didn't have enough fabric left over for that, but I had got a spare piece that I'd got left over from a different project, so I used that. But I love that, and it stands up beautifully. So this is going to come out every spring now, and I'm going to have a nice spring project in there. So that will go with the pouch, this pouch that I made last year. So I can put some knitting crochet tools in there, and a notebook and everything. I've got somewhere for my crochet hooks to go, and so that's good. I also made myself a nice little lavender bag. So the bag's going to smell lovely. I've made myself a slightly bigger than normal coaster, and that's the back. So it's big enough to put a cup of tea on and a biscuit, so I can leave that sat on the settee, and I've got somewhere to sit my tea while I'm doing my crafting. And the last thing I've made is a little, I don't know what you call it, it's a little roll. and I put some ribbon around it. I hadn't got any yellow ribbon or anything, so I've just got handmade. That's all I could find. And what I've done is I've done quilt as you go. I've used all the scrap pieces that I could find to go on there. Had to put a bit of lining fabric in there, and I've put a bit of felt in there. So what I can do is when I'm cross stitching, I can put my needles in with my bits of floss on there and just leave them in there, and then I can just roll my pouch back up, and it's ready to put away. So all my threads that I'm using and the needles are safe, because I am a devil for losing my needles when I'm sat on the settee, and I can never find them, and I'm fighting to death that the cat's going to find them. But luckily somebody always finds my needles. But I really like that, and it was just a prototype, so I might make a better one. It's not perfect, my felt's not straight, but like I say, it's just a prototype and it's only for me. So I'm not too bothered. But that will get a lot of use, and it's going to look nice in my bag. And I'm going to put my bunny cross stitch in here. So that's going to be its new home. Now it's spring, officially spring. And I can even sort of clip my hooks on the side, because I always keep a couple of these in my bag to hold the Ada up. So that's going to come in very, very useful. So yes, I'm really pleased that I used all my fabric up. Tried to come up with different ideas, and yeah, but I definitely like the needle sort of floss sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, somewhere to keep it, isn't it really? Yeah, instead of me having to chuck it out or get it knotted up in my box. So yeah, so that's really all I've been up to this week. Yeah, I hope everybody's had a nice week anyhow. I hope you managed to get some crafting done. Yeah, I don't know where the week's gone to be honest. It just seems to have flown by. But yeah, I've got plenty done, I think. So I think now I need to go and warm my tea up with a bit of water. So I've still got some left, and get that finished off. So I just want to say thank you for joining me this week, and thank you for keeping me company. And yeah, we'll see you all next week with something, hopefully something different. I don't know what. I need another crochet project actually. I must admit, I was looking at the Coronation crochet blanket, and I didn't actually realise there was one until a couple of weeks ago. And of course, when I went looking, I couldn't find the kit, could I? They'd all gone. So I thought, oh, I'll have a look today. And again, they'd all gone. And I thought, it's obviously just not meant to be me having a crochet Coronation kit. So I think I'm going to have to find myself another project to do, probably for the Coronation. Maybe come up with something of my own. We'll see. I might have more to tell you next week when I've decided. Anyhow, I'm going to go now. So take care everyone, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.